Hello, I'm Robert, fact checker and science blogger, and helping people who are scared of various things for our Doomsday Debunk group. You can find the link in the description. This is continuing on from the previous one about whether extraterrestrials would see us as like ants. I used to say that we're not ants. We're we are able to talk, and we can't talk to ants. And there's actually no reason why they would be more intelligent. And I talked about how if they are, then if they are fully developed from us, then they would be loving and compassionate and wise, and they would have moved in direction also of being more sustainable, greater human rights. So I'm talking about not how we are now, but the direction we're headed, and where our great leaders and our inspiring teachers are helping us as well, and sustainable and a sustainable population and I'm myself, I believe they would practice galaxy protection, and it's related to the sustainability solutions to the Fermi paradox. Anyway, I'm now going to talk a little bit about people who are scared of an alien invasion. So as I explained that before, that if they want, there's no evidence of them here. So if you go and have a look, you look at these are one of our, this is on Mars, I think. Yes, Curiosity's tracks as seen from space. It's not that big a thing, and we actually have better cameras in orbit around Mars than we have around the Moon, and they I think it's 30 centimeter resolution, and it's actually going to take ages, almost forever, to photograph the whole of Mars at that resolution. The reason is not because they could do it quite quickly, but we have a bottleneck for the bandwidth, and there's quite a lot of there's a lot of reason for putting a high bandwidth satellite in orbit around Mars, but sadly, even though NASA had that as a project, they shelved it. All the exciting missions get the priority, and this is a little bit dull, but it would absolutely revolutionise exploring Mars if they were to put a high bandwidth satellite, just a relay satellite that could give us a broadband connection with Mars. Then we could get so much more information back from all of our missions to Mars. It seems to me a bit short-sighted myself that that should be top priority. But we don't have broadband as top priority, and for that reason it takes ages to move all the images back from the Mars. But we nevertheless, large areas of Mars are imaged at very high resolution like this, and you can see the tracks very easily, and there's absolutely no sign of any aliens ever set foot on Mars. And that would suddenly for millions of years. Eventually these things would fade away, but it takes quite a long while on Mars. And on the Moon, even more so, it would last even longer, and there's no signs at all of anything even remotely resembling an alien presence on the Moon. So, and we have both sides of the Moon observed fairly high resolution. They certainly don't have any big factories there, and they are nowhere near the Apollo landing site, unless they go around with a little brush, sort of brushing their tracks away as they walk across the surface. Even then, we notice they would have probably something more sophisticated than that. So you can make up a science fiction scenario in which there's a race of aliens who have a very high technology. They just keep erasing their presence, and they disappear behind the nearest rock whenever they see a spacecraft landing. You can make up this idea, but anyway, if there are any aliens there, they're very, very shy, or they are, or they have something like the Prime Directive of Star Trek, and they don't want to interfere. And if they had wanted to interfere in any way, then they could have taken over the Earth before humans evolved. Because it's extraordinarily unlikely, as I said in the previous video, that they would get here at exactly the same time that we evolve. And our radio signals going out just haven't been going out for long enough for anyone except very, very close aliens. If they were about a nearby star, then they could get here. But then, if they're that close, they would be here already, if they wanted to be. If they were living on, I don't know, Sirius or something, then is Sirius close enough for them to have got here in time? Distance to Sirius in light years. I haven't got my usual keyboard. Oh yes, very good. No, Sirius in light years. Where's... Oh, I don't even know what that means. Distance of Sirius in light years. That's an obvious question, but usually Sirius. I'll go to that. It's usually okay on that. Usually you answer a question like that and Google just tells you. And it's usually pretty reliable as well, but they don't see distance. Okay. Not these. That is why Google hasn't got it, because Google, I think, gets some of it from Wikipedia, and Wikipedia has just been very confused in the way it's presented it. Not a good article. Let's look. I think they just picked it up from Wikipedia, and don't. It's not a sensible. 8.6 light years. Yes, it's far too close to think. So okay. So if Sirius one of the brightest stars, but only because it's so close, and I knew it was close, but I wasn't quite sure how far away. So yeah. So if they were living on Sirius, then if there were aliens living on Sirius, then they could have got here in time, got here just long ago, just from detecting our radio signals. But if there were aliens living on on Sirius for millions of years, then of course they would have found their way here by now. Anyway, so that's why it's extremely implausible that that an alien just gets here now. If they're interested in Earth, then they would have been here long ago, and they just look in their telescopes and they see Earth in the distance as a planet with life around it. It would be an extremely interesting planet. Any alien within 100 light years or even 1,000 light years would surely have got here if they're at all interested in such planets. So that's it. As I say, I think that they would be keen on galaxy protection. Now, I don't want to. I think I'll do both of mine. I'll talk a bit about my pale blue dot, and just give the links so that you can see it. So this is my own personal views. That any sensible ET would think and look ahead. But the previous bit about they would be here by now, then that is nothing to do with personal views. That's just kind of obvious. Everyone has agreed on that. That any extraterrestrials would be here already. Either that or they're so far away and for some reason they're stay-at-homes. If they wanted to fill the galaxy, if there's extraterrestrial in our galaxy, then they could fill it in, I think, certainly not less than 1 million years. So it's not credible that there's and it is not likely that we see an extraterrestrial in an exponential expansive state. It's not likely that we find an alien species that is doubling every 100 years. That's incredibly unlikely. That it's doubling in population even every 100 years. The reason is because that can only go on for a few thousand years before you have to turn all the stars in the entire galaxy into aliens to keep going. That's because I think it's like, I can't remember, 10, 20,000 years. If it is, I think it's less than 20,000 years. If you had human beings doubling in population every century, I think it's less than 20,000 years. I've got the link where I've got worked out the actual figure. And before you have to turn all the stars in the galaxy, it doesn't even take. I think even by then you talk about all the matter in the universe to turn into human beings, because exponentials grow in a rather strange, unintuitive way. So no, it's just not credible that it'd be an incredible coincidence to spot an alien species that is in an expansionist phase unless they have very, very, very slow exponential. If they live for a million years and they double in population every million years, like they mature at the year 500,000 or something like that, then it is conceivable that they're, I think, I'm not even sure if a million years will do the job. More like several million years. Then it's credible that they've been around. Depending how long they've been around. So if they've been around for a few billion years, and even a million-year lifetime, then they'd be filling the galaxy by now. But so anyway, so we just look around at Earth, and it's not full of aliens, and from that we can conclude that we're not going, and there aren't fighting aliens sort of going around this spaceships placing across the sky, and from that then it's absolutely clear that there isn't an alien species expanding exponentially at the moment, except for extraordinary coincidence. And if they're not expanding exponentially, then they don't need Earth. So they have plenty of resources. And the Earth is nothing very much here for an alien. Apart from life. But then, if they're that advanced, they can easily just get a gene sequence, and that's all they need. They don't need to kind of dig up walnuts or something, or dig up peanuts or something, because if they like peanuts, then they can just clone them, replicate them. So they don't have any reason to come here and plunder Earth. Or if they want mangoes, they don't need to come and plunder our mangoes. They can just clone our mangoes, make them for themselves. So there's nothing really here for an extraterrestrial. And as for our atmosphere, they can, with technology not much beyond what we've got, they could very quickly build a habitat in space. We already, the Stanford project back in the 1970s, then they said they could make a habitat in space for 10,000 people, and I think we've on about a third one by now of those habitats, just in sequence, one after the other, each one building the next when the first one was completed. So they'd be far advanced on that. They could probably build an habitat for 10,000 aliens in a year or two, and then just go around through the Oort cloud, through the comet cloud, just converting it all to habitats, and the asteroid belt and the Oort cloud, and they could have 100 trillion aliens in our solar system, and they wouldn't need to use Earth for any of that. So they don't need Earth for its materials. And the great lumps of metal in our solar system, and platinum and gold, there's nothing on Earth that is particularly not anywhere else in our solar system. Some things are rare and in the inner solar system, but they'd find them further out in the outer solar system, these things. So no, there's absolutely nothing material of any interest to an extraterrestrial on the Earth, not if they got the advanced technology they would have, even just to get here, travelling over interstellar distances. So they don't need anything material. So the question then would be, what are they here for? And if they do come here, they'd be interested in us, and they want to talk to us, or they'd be interested in our biology and they want to find out about it. They'd be interested in our art, and since they could just easily clone anything that they're interested in, and they would be absolutely invisible to us if they wanted to. With that technology that advanced, nanotechnology for sure, then they could do anything absolutely invisibly. So if they appear, then they would appear because they want to be. Because they want to be seen, because they want to talk to us, and because they're interested in us. They want us to know that they're there. So, no, I don't see any possibility of an alien invasion. Now, I know you get people making plausible arguments, reasoning opposite direction to this, but I don't find those arguments convincing at all myself. I've listened to some of them. So, no, I don't see any invasion as at all likely, especially not to wait for millions of years for us to evolve and then invade us only when we've got technology and wait for us to develop nuclear weapons and space technology and so on, and then say, okay, they're up in space and they've got nuclear weapons, this is just the right time to invade them. I mean, what silly alien would do that? That doesn't make sense. So no, I don't think we risk an alien invasion. So no, this isn't going to be very long, so yeah, I'll do my pale blue dot as a separate thing, because I've just said this bit about not risking an alien invasion.